So today we have started our first season and our second season in the top flight. Last season we got no less than 7 job interviews from other teams around Europe, including in Serbia, Croatia, Hungary and Romania. Fun fact, one of the teams that actually wanted to offer me a job was actually a team I'm considering doing a youth academy challenge save in Romania if this save goes and dies. aka I get relegated to the 3rd tier or I get sacked. We have options here, but the fact we got offered 7 different job interviews is interesting. And we're now having to fight the fact that our goalkeeper's retiring. So yes, retired from professional football, or so I thought. Turns out he's not retired yet. He just retired from professional football, and that he will retire from football fully next season. So I'm keeping hold of my goalkeeper despite the fact he's actually technically retired, which is a very interesting situation. But it's still better than having Lazar Stanojanic in goal at the moment, because let's be fair, he's not good enough for what we're looking for at the moment. If only he was. He's got great potential though. He's only 17. If I had my way, this would be the starting 11, and Zizan will be in goal for us. So Jevic is the goalkeeper for us at the moment. Popovic is also going to be starting. He's pretty much the only good defender we have at this point, and that's a concern. Elvinin is still starting despite the fact he's 34 and is not that good. He's been very reliable over the last 2 seasons. Yasmin Kortovic is starting, and it says a lot that I'm actually forced to start this guy, but his potential's okay. He's actually improving, and he's consistent, even if he's got injury problems, so not ideal. Ivan is still starting, even though I've got players that could potentially take his place in the left back position. He's actually now natural at left back, and it says a lot just how badly we need to use him because the other players are not that good. Filip Bozic is still starting as a DM. He has been improving, and that's a good sign as far as I'm concerned. Filip Gogic is also starting as a box-to-box, despite the fact he could be a good striker, so maybe I should play him as a striker at some point. Though we do have this guy, Alexijevic, who is actually quite good and will be starting as Mizala. You can understand why I'm desperate to keep hold of this guy, right? Still, our front three is quite strong. Lazar Pejic is actually quite good, and he's only 22. Even though it says he's a 4-star player, he's still going to get better and better, and I genuinely believe he will be a good top-flight player in the future. And we have Alexa Kostic, Milutinovic in the left wing. We've got another good player here. I just wish he was better in his average ratings, because despite the fact he's very, very consistent, his big matches is not great, and he doesn't do well in the average ratings. Last year, gained a 6.59 average rating. It's not ideal. And up front, we have Lazovic, who has been amazing the last couple of years. The fact he got 23 league goals last year is probably the greatest thing we could have wished for him to do, and he's helped us out massively. We've got the likes of Milan Maric, who's on the bench, and we're hoping he'll get some more game time and develop him more. The driven personality is helping him out, even if he is apparently only considered a 3rd tier player right now. Giving him some first team football from the bench is going to be useful to say the least. We've also got the likes of Dejan Rakitic as well on the bench. He's not very consistent, and it's a hindrance, but he could be useful. The same could be said for Dalibor Bakic, who is actually good, who's actually very consistent, but not very good, and it's an issue there. But other than that, we've got players like Mahin Bajramovic, who's very young, just turned up last year. He could be useful, so hopefully the first team football will be kind to the young talent here. We've also got the likes of Milas Kapoor, who is not very consistent. I don't think he's got the best potential in the world to be either a winger or a striker, but he could be useful. He did score a winner last year. So let's go forward and let's see what happened at the winter break. So the winter break has arrived, and you can see by the table already, we've actually done quite well for ourselves this year. We are currently in 10th place. Now, admittedly, we are expected to be bottom of the table, but the odds are only 700 to 1, so it's not like it's the worst odds in the world, and we legitimately could do quite well this year. And our sponsorship is actually not the worst. We've got 81,000 per year in income, which, not amazing, is still better than nothing. I would like to be able to get 1 million in the future, be amongst the top 5, but I know that will take me a lot of time to get to, and I'll be amazed if I can get anywhere close to that. But still, we are actually in 10th place, and we are comfortably 12 points clear of the relegation zone and only 1 point away from the top half. So how has this happened? Well, we actually won our first 2 league games of the year, which amazingly wasn't a shock. We did get a 93rd minute winner in the second game though, as Elvin scored a penalty in the 93rd minute of the game after they came from 2-0 down to make it 2-2. And then we decided to lose 2 in a row. And the fact we only lost 2-1 to Vostok this time is very useful. And we did lose 1-0 to Spartas Putka, which is not ideal, but what can you do? But we took a point at Red Star. This might be the biggest point we've ever taken, because it's Red Star. Let's be frank, I didn't think we'll get anything against Red Star, but yet here we are, taking points of Red Star. It's amazing to me. We then won the next 2 games. Against Logo, we won 1-0, and then we destroyed Nova Peza by 5-0, showing that, yes, we can be very good on our day. We then lost the next game by 3-1, before we picked up another point, and then we just kept picking up points every now and again, which was very, very useful. The first stack, Kosovac was the first victim we took, and then we took a 2-2 draw against Forest Fatina, and they took the lead once, we took the lead once, and we came back both times, or both of us came back to get a point in the end. Partizan did beat us 3-0 at our ground because they're Partizan, they're really good, and then we lost this team, very good team really. We actually took the lead once, they went and got a 2-1, and then we made it 2-2 before we lost 3-2, but we gave a fight, and in the cup, we actually went straight to the first round this time, and Mina Maric scored. Yes, Mina Maric has got his first goal, and we beat Radnik Sadulika by 1-0. We then went and took a 2-1 victory against Marsa Sabak, and that's a good victory, before we got beaten quite comfortably by Radniki by 3-0. I don't know what happened in this game, but it happened before we took a 2-2 draw against TSC, and a 1-0 draw against Java Avajika, before we were beaten by Vostok again. Yeah, this is Vostok beating us again for the 4th time in a row, no surprise, before we went and won in the second round of the Serbian Cup against TSC. So we're through to the quarterfinals, where we'll be taking on a team we generally don't know yet because the other games haven't been played apparently. We then took a draw against Spartak Subotica, which tells me that we can do well against this team. Red Star then got revenge and beat us 3-1, before we took a 3-0 win against Sloga in the last game. We're hopeful that the games we have next time out will be very useful, and we can pick up a good round of points. And a youth intake preview has also arrived, and we expect to get a good goalkeeper, a good fullback, yes, please, thank you very much, a good DM, a good attacking midfielder, and a good striker. It's very useful. I'd like to have all those positions for these, and thank you. Wingers, centre-backs, centre midfielders, wide midfielders, and wingbacks are not great. I would like a centre-back as well, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Let's go to the youth intake. So, we have arrived at the youth intake day, and we are currently in the top half of the league. Yes, we actually have a chance to be finishing top half this year. Though if you look at the teams below us, we are literally just 1 point clear of 11th place, which is not ideal. But we're 3 points away from 7th place, which is actually useful. But I'd like to be able to say we're a top half finish this year, and it would be very useful if we could do it. With 1 game to go, it's not surprising, but how do we get to that point? We beat Nova Pazar by 2-1 before we lost 2-1 the next game away from home. Even though our opponents were down to 10 men, inside 10 minutes, we just couldn't open it up, and we also had an issue with our goalkeeper. I think he's either injured or on international duty, and the other goalkeeper's out as well, so Sasa Duic was in goal. When I'm forced to play this guy in goal, you know it's bad. Stanajevic was actually in goal for the next game, which we won 4-3, and I genuinely couldn't believe we did it. So 4-3 here, before we won by 2-0, and we were down to 10 men inside 64 minutes, so Selaban Jovanovic was actually sent off. Yeah, left back, sent off, not ideal, but the inconsistency probably played a factor in that. But we've gone on this really bad run of form. And admittedly, you look at the teams we're taking on, it's not surprising. A 1-0 draw here, Partizan beat us 2-1. We then lost to Vostok in the quarterfinals of the Cup. Heartbreak there. I genuinely thought we could do well here. And then we were beaten in the league by 1-0 before Makasavak got a 1-0 draw. And last we're taking on is a team that beat us early in the season. If we can beat them, we're fine. A draw will probably not be enough, which is a shame, but hey, we're there. That's fun. But yes, youth intake time. Youth intake arrives, and we've got a handful of good players, haven't we? Look at this. It's just a shame about their personalities, but yes, look at this. It's the first person we're going to talk about is the man Nomics, who could be very good. Needs work, but he also doesn't play the role I look for him. But if I can get him to improve his overall attributes, we're looking like a very good DM here, and a ball-playing defender, ball-playing playmaker, perfect person for that. And hopefully he'll be very good for us. And this is the guy I was hoping for as a left back. It's just a shame his personality. Elver Hamzik, you know, casual personality, makes me hate him already. If only he wasn't a casual personality kind of player. He would definitely be thrown in the first team though. We kind of need someone like him in the first team. Now this guy's exciting. Vuk Chutadinovac. He's a very good player. He could be a striker, not with his finishing, no. He could be a winger, but not with his crossing, no. Everything else, speed-wise, he's got potential. Likes to be the offside trap already, which means that's exciting. Can we use him? I think we can. I got Bikic, who I generally believe could be really good for us. A winger, an inverted winger already. Play on both wings. Very good mentals. I generally think we can use him. He just needs to work on his physicals a little bit more. And if he is as good as I hope he could be, he gets into opposition's areas as well, which is also great. And could be a midfielder as well. So, good times. We did get a goalkeeper though. Stefan Balic. And Stefan Balic could be the first goalkeeper that I genuinely believe that's come through our academy that was not already here. Stanovic was already at the club. But Balic is one of those players that I genuinely think we could utilise quite nicely. He's professional. He will improve even without game time. So that is perfect for me. And the last person I want to talk about is Lazar Potanovic. And this guy could be useful. It's just a shame he's unambitious, but he's got good attitude otherwise, doesn't he? So let's hope he can improve him quickly. But yes, let's go forward and see how we've got on last season. Did we get top half or did we fail miserably? Let's find out. So, we have finished the season and we're bottom half. And it wasn't even a good bottom half finish either. It was legitimately one of the worst seasons I think I've ever had in the end of the season. Oh, also that's happened as well. So, we've had a budget. I'm just going to go through bits and pieces later, but this has happened. Facilities, not great. But let's go through the fixtures. What happened? Why did we do so badly? Well, we lost the last game by 4-1, condemned us to a bottom half finish. We then won the first game 2-0, and then lost 1-0 to this team, and then Novi Pazar beat us 1-0. Yeah, don't know what happened here. We only got one more victory afterwards, and it was a 4-0 victory away from home, and then we lost the next two games. TSC beat us, and then Sloga beat us 5-4, and Sloga were relegated. And this team then go 2-2 draw afterwards. This was not a good end of the season, really. We finished very much in 4th place in the end. Only 5 points away from the relegation playoffs. But we were never really threatened with actual automatic relegation. It's just annoying that we were relegated to the second group, effectively. And that we just couldn't do much afterwards. Wasn't our best season by any stretch of the imagination. This was quite poor in the end, how we finished the season off, and hopefully it will not affect us next year. But still, finances, facilities gone down. They've absolutely been ripped apart, which is not fun. We've also been forced to move into Partizan Stadium because our stadium has not met the requirements for the league. And budgets are this. So we've got 43,000 in the transfers and 9.25,000 in the wages. But let's go over this season with you anyway, and see what happened, and see what they thought our season, really. They're happy with the fact we did well, Cafe falling down, and we actually sold Vuk Randic for nothing, and he did absolutely terribly in his only game in players, so there you go. We also let players go on loan. Rakitic out on loan for £775. We got a loan fee for him, and he actually got an entire season on his belt. And we actually sent our left winger out on loan, and they're both unhappy with the fact we did that because we didn't get a loan fee, even though the person went out to our affiliates. Still, we got mid-table finish. The board only expected to fight relegation, which tells you again just how bad our squad is, and the fact we did so well at all is useful. The run here, we've got 4 wins in 5 matches, was very, very useful, but the terrible end of form was just not ideal. 2 wins in 12 matches, it looks like. Not great, and it really cost us a top half finish. We only missed that by a single point as well, which is an annoying part. And getting to the quarterfinal of the Cup is very useful. We were only expected to be competitive, so again, useful times. Match to remember, we took the 2-0 win against TSC. The 5-0 win against Novi Pazar was very, very good, and it shows you a lot. And the fact that our best goals was actually scored in this game when we lost and we needed to win is said a lot. So let's see this goal. Hamzik, by the way, was really good. And it turns out, after all, despite the fact that, you know, he's casual in his approach to games. How good was this goal, though? Hamzik throws, finds Bosic, he finds Hamzik, and this is really good football, isn't it? And first time effort, goal. Yeah, I can see what a good goal there. So hopefully it'll be looking good. But either way, finances, definitely everything's going up in finances, which is useful, really, really good. And I'm happy our finances are going up and everything else is going up. We've made 21 grand in merchandise sales. We only sold 510 shirts. We're still not a 2-star team yet, and that's a bit concerning as far as I'm concerned. But still, our best media dream was this. And Stanislavic, in the end, I decided to throw in the first team and make my first choice goalkeeper. 34 games he played. Yeah, he got 7.03 average rating. You'd think I wouldn't do this to this young man, but he's actually improving, slowly but surely. And he's only a third tier keeper still, but he's improving, and that's useful. We do have good things, though. And while a left back is still a problem, I think Hamzik might be able to fix it. Bosic was really useful. We got Pejicic as a good right winger. Again, really good. Nothing too serious. Acrolade. Elvedin was the player of the season again. And Pejicic was actually the young player of the season. And Lazovic got 14 goals. Yeah, he didn't get as many goals this year as he did last year, but he's definitely getting better. And Kostic, Milutinovic was really good with 12 assists. That's a penny record as well. And Lazovic gained 4, playing the match was good. Bosic gained a 7.1 average rating, and Bosic gained a 109 minutes, 109 passes per 90, is good as well. We still haven't got a hat-trick hero yet, apparently, which is a bit concerning. But here we are now. 16 yellow cards and no reds for Popovic was actually the worst discipline record, which is useful. And Kostic, Milutinovic was actually the man who's holding the most appearances record now of 138. And Lazovic has now got 64 goals, the most ever. Momic was the youngest ever player, playing at the age of 15 years and 154 days, which is a lot. Elvedin is the oldest ever goal scorer we've ever had, scoring at the age of 34 years and 299 days. He's now 35. But yes, that's fun. And we also have this. So, Elvedin's retiring. You know, the guy that we've been relying on for the last couple of years, who's been in our first team every single year so far, he's actually massively declined, and he's realizing, okay, I'm not good enough. It's gone to the point that Kurtovic is now actually better than him now, and that I never thought I'd see the day of, but I guess it was meant to happen eventually, and that's a little concerning. I'm also probably going to get rid of Ivanovic. I genuinely think I might need to get rid of him and give the younger players some first-team football. This might come back to bite me, but we are already struggling as it is, and he was barely getting first-team football, and he got a 6.63 when he did start, so yeah, not good. But we're losing our main defender. We are losing Jevic as well, who has already retired. He's already declared it. He declared that he struggled to get a diverse team, wanted to call it the day. Well, Elvedin was one of the retire in his prime. Yeah, we're not having a good time, are we? So, who went up and who went down? Let's find out, shall we? So, we know who's gone down, and you can see right here, actually, Marquez Abak went down. So, we are actually struggling financially, apparently. I don't know what's happened here. I think my finances are just being out of whack, or I'm just spending too much money on wages. But yes, we're struggling financially right now. And the teams coming up are going to be Kudabari and Zlatibor. So Zlatibor were just promoted to this division the year before, if I recall correctly. Indija were promoted for the playoffs. And Matalek, Gorjny, Milanovac are trying to get back up. So that's good for them. But yeah, let's look at this thing. I feel like I've seen Zlatibor just promoted as well. So they've literally done what we did. 2 straight promotions. It's good for them. And I'm hopeful that more things can happen sooner rather than later for us. And we know it's over because of the collective payout bonus as well, which is useful. Oh, that's a thing. I should really mention the fact we've got a new affiliate. Yeah, we kind of got a new affiliate in Sweden. We might have mentioned it, but we are paying them 3.25 grand a week to loan players out to them. and with their facilities being a 2-star facilities, it made sense to me, even if they are an amateur side. So yeah, I thought it made sense. Better than the Vigo Sports, who have only got 1-star. So I thought Swim could be a good team. So I'm not sure if I want to keep Vigo Sport or not as an affiliate, but if they're useful, they're useful. But if they're not, they're not. So I mean, the fact we're paying them more as well might be something we need to look into at one point. But they are local, so it makes sense why we are doing it. But either way, it just makes sense to get a new affiliate who have better facilities. So why not? What I'm going to do, though, is actually end this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you want what I should be improving and what I should be avoiding doing. Because I feel like you're going to know what's happened. Because I've already done 3 more seasons in advance. So that's how far ahead I am. I just don't want to release every video straight away. But either way, until next time, goodbye. And well, good night.